Before I get into all the details about how sophomore year changed me, I want to talk about why I made this. Why did I film small moments of life for 11 months? The truth is, I didn't know why at first. It just felt right, as strange as that sounds. And for some background, last year Mr. Mercado tasked us with creating a video similar to this, and once all of that was said and done, being able to watch my freshman year back, alongside all the music, still brought me joy. So I started filming. I captured the small moments, fireworks on the 4th, Friendsgiving, Molly's guitar playing, that, in the end, came together to form a complete narrative of my year. Seeing this video now, I plan on doing this until I graduate. For that, I must thank Mr. Mercado in English 117. But that's freshman year, and at this point, I was thoroughly enjoying what my sophomore summer had to offer. As the season went on, my focus, though still mostly on windsurfing, I won't lie, shifted towards the upcoming school year. I felt more cemented in my view of how this year was going to go. Sophomores are in a strange limbo, not quite fresh meat, not quite upperclassmen, but something strange and exciting indeed. I wasn't about to set my expectations for the year high, but, in true fashion, I did anyways. Besides, a whole new year had a whole lot to offer regardless. In the meantime, I spent days at the beach with friends and family, soaking up every last drop of the mid-August sun. Life sure had a lot to offer, but I was trying to take it slow for as long as I could. For all I knew, the sophomore slump could be more than an urban legend, and I was trying to fend that off for as long as I could. And so went August in honeyed tones and humid air. School. It began, and though this is a little strange to admit, I was excited to finally have something tangible to work towards, seeing as I had been home from camp and windsurfing for about a month. I had a surprisingly positive first few weeks in math, learned the ropes of Art 3, and since I had started tennis, saw that I could work on, well, everything in that respect. Life felt like a coming-of-age movie, what with the 6 p.m. golden hour and the summer's end campfires. This time of year never fails to evoke some sense of nostalgia for the present. I knew I would miss the days I was living in the sweat of a victory on the court, and the red pen of an A+ on the paper. The leaves turned, and I turned more and more homework in, still curiously content with the state of my life. I wasn't too stressed, and I was soaking in all the delights of both the fall months and a renewed joy for academics. I was very happy, in the way so true of a classic sophomore September. It was fun going to class, playing tennis, and on select Fridays, if I was oh so lucky, watching the football team get absolutely crushed by some school's third-string quarterback. Still, as all things go, the months turn over and so do the leaves, falling on the ground just as November approached. Despite the ever-chilling temperatures, there was a lot of joy in the air. Holothink Birthmas, as I so lovingly like to call it, was completely underway. I still felt good, but late fall New England is not for the weak, especially with the absence of sun. In its place, I met a bunch of new friends. Hello, seniors. And filled my days with many, many dinner parties. It was so delightful to be surrounded by love in the cold months leading up to the new year, and excuse the situational irony, but learning to be thankful for every minute helped a little bit with that nostalgia for the present and the freezing temperatures. I danced in living rooms, laughed over dinner, and smiled at brand new faces in the hallways. It reminded me of camp in a way, since everything reminds me of camp. Some of these girls even went to camp. Enough. I had uncovered another new gem of sophomore year, this time in human form. As Christmas and Hanukkah passed in a rush of tinsel and candles, the new year began, and so did the trials and tribulations of January.
Wait, what?
Oh wait, I can't.
As much as I hoped it wouldn't, the fabled sophomore slump hit me hard, but not my grades. I was still surrounded by love on all sides, but the frigid air was a little too much to ignore. I had been gearing up for this absolute misery, though some part of me hoped it wouldn't happen. My willpower, though effective, simply wasn't enough to will away the months of January and February. I slipped on ice walking to school, watching my breath turn to steam as soon as I opened my mouth. But I was always welcomed with open arms by the music, my friends, and strangely enough, the classroom. My spark for learning refused to be dulled, so I held onto that like a life vest as I stumbled my way through the darkest and most depressing months of the year. Everything was a little trivial at that point, what with a constant night, but there was always a light at the end of the tunnel, no matter in what form. As a matter of fact, the days themselves were getting lighter, as the snow began to melt and the ground sunk under my feet instead of crunching. To add to that, I also kind of got into Harvard.
Oh my god, I got accepted. Oh my god, I'm in. Okay, this is fantastic.
Yet again, there was some joy to be found in stepping outside. I embraced that change with open arms because, after all, the change of seasons is always something to be celebrated. I watched as water flowed from the clouds onto the blossoming world outside. The grass may not have been green yet, but my snow-bleached skin gratefully accepted the temperate spring sun. The winter really made me realize how much I had learned to channel any adversities I experienced into putting myself ahead. It was so strange to have adopted this new outlook, constantly pushing forward instead of simply laying back and waiting to hear the birds chirp one March morning, if I was lucky. I finished my first series in art, delved back into my favorite classic rock, and found luck in existing. If I wasn't lucky to be experiencing the defrosting of not only the world, but myself, what was luck even? If I had ever been a believer in the everything happens for a reason mentality, the world's reawakening was solid proof. Maybe spring was what changed me in the end, seeing as that's kind of the whole point of it. And speaking of the end, summer was, however slowly, approaching yet again.
When we go down to church, see the men folks standing in line. Don't say they come to pray to the Lord. I'm with my little girl, looks so fine.
As I wrote the script for this, I considered that maybe the treasure wasn't an intense self-transformation after all. Maybe it was in the friends I made, the joy I found, or just in existing. As I sat outside, filming the final clips of this video, it occurred to me, sophomore year had truly been something special, and I had happened to create a small coming-of-age movie in the process. With that being said, this is your reminder to step outside, actually touch grass, and appreciate the fact that you are always learning to change, even if it hurts. Maybe all those cliches about the seasons are true. Whatever you believe, this was how sophomore year turned out for me, and I am so grateful this was the outcome.
Can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, well, you might find you get what you need. And I went down to the demonstration to get my fair share of abuse, singing words gonna vent our frustration. If we don't, we're gonna blow a 50 amp fuse. Sing it to me.